A new exhibit at Harmony Hall tells the stories of hundreds of black patriots nationwide and here in Prince George's County. Byron Scott has the story about World War I and African Americans who fought for their country.
Close to 500 from Prince George's County served in World War I.
The exhibit is called We Return Fighting, World War I and the African American Experience. Currently on display at Harmony Hall Regional Center in Fort Washington, it tells the stories of those black soldiers before, during, and after the war.
Over in this area, we talk about what life was like in Prince George's County at the beginning of the war, at the beginning of the 20th century.
Dennis Doster is the curator.
During that time period in the early 1900s, there were 3 attempts in the Maryland legislature to deprive African Americans of the right to vote by trying to pass amendments to the state constitution.
Still, history shows they enlisted for the war effort.
African Americans really rallied around the war effort and supported the war with the idea that they would fight to prove their bravery and that they deserve the rights of equal citizenship in society. And unfortunately, when they came back from the war, they found out that Jim Crow and segregation were here to stay.
As Americans prepared for war with Germany.
With a special focus on Prince George's County, Doster and his team assembled a wall of valor. It includes the names of every black county resident who served in the war. Names like John Edward Quandra of Upper Marlboro. A video screen puts a face to the name, as well as a story during and after the war.
We've been working on this exhibit for a little bit over a year, doing research in local archives, doing online research, secondary sources.
Another exhibit highlights veteran Omer Weems of Beltsville. 6 years after the war, he was shot and killed by police in Laurel in a case of mistaken identity. John Wesley Love of Oxon Hill was one of the few black officers to serve in World War I. He would return from battle and practice law.
3 Prince Georgians we identified who served as officers during World War I. We also talk about the 4 African Americans from Prince George's County who gave their lives during World War I.
The men took special pride in the name the French gave them.
Doster says it's important for all Americans to know about the contributions and sacrifices made by black soldiers like the Harlem Hellfighters.
The most famous unit of African American soldiers, and they served 191 days, which is the longest of any unit of Americans during World War I. They received the Croix de Guerre from the French. They actually fight with the French.
Doster says the exhibit, which is for all ages, will offer special programs aimed at kids. He says it's an important story and an American story.
Even though this is just one war, it really is a part of a longer story of African American patriotism and African American commitment to the United States.
Indeed, there is much to learn in this exhibit, and fortunately, plenty of time for you to check it out. We Return Fighting runs through March 9 at Harmony Hall in Fort Washington. Byron Scott, CTV News.
Thank you for that, Byron. Again, the exhibit runs through March 9th at Harmony Hall. Like Byron says, the hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 8 p.m., Saturdays 10 to 4, Sundays 10 to 2, and admission is free.